years ago, I started to professionalize my startup investments. And I really wanted to talk with you about where do we find and also create new trends, and what are factors nowadays for long-lasting success. So one point that is really crucial to me is TikTok. I don't know who of you is on TikTok, but this is not the place where you'll find the Gen Z. So TikTok is really beneficial if you want your brand to be seen from the younger generation. I also have some examples. It might be tough to tell, but a friend of mine, she does like this silicone patches for the female chest, and she started to sell this brand on her own online shop and now also on DM. And her brand has more than several million content pieces being created with her product on TikTok, because the young generation, they not only buy or purchase products, they talk about it. And if they like something, they'll show it, and if they don't like it, they'll also show it. But it's good that people talk about you and your brand, and TikTok is a great place for this. It's become pretty much an essential or an addition kind of our bodies, where we not only use it for consuming content, but also if we're a little bit worried about our health. A lot of Gen Z or the younger generation, they'd rather go on TikTok and search the symptoms and find out they might have ADHD or something else, instead of just going to a doctor or asking someone. I think you don't get a letter into your mail, or you don't get the invoice via mail, you get it via SMS and email, and everything is digital, so no paper-based, and this is what the younger generation wants. Everything should be digital and smooth transactions. And if you want to create a successful brand nowadays, I already gave some examples. Make sure people talk about your brand, they communicate with you, and you as a founder or as a brand should do that too. I have an example of also a startup I invested in. They do like, let's say they're the Wolford for the Gen Z, they do tights. And on the picture down below, you see the founder of the brand. And when she's posting something about her brand, she gets a lot more likes than her brand's account, even though her brand's account has a lot more followers. But it's because people still prefer to follow people instead of brands. So if you want to make sure people talk about you and your brand, you as a founder or your team, they should also be communicating your brand's values. And nowadays, it's actually not always that hard, because I hear a lot of people always saying it's so complicated, it's so time-consuming to create content. I guess you all know now ChatGPT, or there's so many other tools. Like here, I just have this smartphone screen with an app that I use a lot. It's called Captions, and that is generating your subtitles in a minute for a video. So actually, there is no excuse anymore to be seen out there, to go out there and show who you are and what you're working on, or for what kind of brand you're working on, because this really helps to build up a long-lasting brand. Nowadays, it can be really difficult to build up a new brand, but if you also communicate with your followers, and if you also use authentic content, like on my slide you hear the word user-generated content, it's also called UGC. It's a lot cheaper than creating an amazing, expensive image film, but it's authentic. That's why people really like this kind of content, and I think it's really important nowadays to implement this into your strategy and use TikTok, Instagram, but also LinkedIn to talk about your successes and failures as a founder, or also just as an employee.